You're standing in the produce aisle, reaching for the biggest garlic bulb on the shelf. Almost everyone does, but that simple mistake could leave you with garlic that's already drying out, losing flavor, or starting to rot inside. And you probably won't know until you get home. There are 6 things worth checking before garlic ever makes it into your cart, and once you know them, you'll never shop for garlic the same way again. And make sure you stay until the last trick, because it's the one seasoned growers never skip. Let's start with the one almost nobody looks for. Trick number 1, those tiny brown spots. Most shoppers scan for size, but the first thing to check is something almost nobody notices. Small brown or black spots around the base of the cloves, or tucked near where the cloves meet the stem. Those spots can be early signs of mold or decay, working their way through the bulb from the inside out. Here's the tricky part. The outside can still look perfectly fine while the inside is already breaking down. A bulb can sit on the shelf looking clean and white, while hidden beneath the outer wrapper, it may already be beginning to deteriorate. That's why it pays to actually turn the bulb over in your hand and inspect it closely, rather than just glancing at it from the top under bright store lighting, which tends to hide exactly the kind of discoloration you're looking for. The smart move is to look for bulbs with clean, papery skin and no dark discoloration anywhere near the base. It takes 3 extra seconds, and it can save you from bringing home garlic that's already halfway spoiled. Garlic that looks fine in the bag but turns soft and unusable within days, long before you were planning to cook with it. Trick number 2, weight over size. Picture 2 bulbs side by side. One is oversized, almost showy, the kind that catches your eye from across the produce section. The other is medium-sized but feels surprisingly dense. Instinct says go big, but size is actually one of the least useful ways to judge garlic. Instead, pick up 2 bulbs of similar size and compare how they feel in your hand. As garlic ages, it naturally loses water. That moisture loss is exactly what makes older bulbs feel light and hollow, even when they look perfectly fine on the outside. A smaller, heavier bulb almost always has more retained moisture, which translates directly to fresher cloves and a much longer shelf life in your pantry. Trust the weight, not the size. For years, people have been reaching for the biggest bulb on the shelf without realizing that size tells you almost nothing about what's actually happening inside. By the way, drop your state and USDA zone in the comments right now. I want to see where every member of this community is growing from. Trick number 3, the squeeze test. This one takes 2 seconds and works every single time. Gently squeeze the bulb in your palm, applying just a little pressure, the same way you might test an avocado. Good garlic feels firm, almost hard, with absolutely no give. Nothing shifts. Nothing moves. It should feel solid all the way through, like there's nothing but tightly packed cloves underneath that skin. Old garlic tells on itself immediately. You'll feel soft spots, a spongy give under your fingers, or cloves that shift loosely inside the skin like they've come unglued from each other. Sometimes you'll even hear a faint rattle when you shake it gently near your ear, which is never a good sign and almost always means the cloves inside have already begun drying out and separating. If a bulb fails that squeeze test, put it back, no matter how good it looks from the outside. This single test alone will save you more disappointing garlic than almost anything else on this list. If you're picking up something useful here, this is exactly the kind of practical, no-nonsense gardening knowledge this channel is built on. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Trick number 4. Loose skin is a warning sign. A lot of people assume flaky, loose outer skin is just normal wear and tear, something that happens naturally in shipping and doesn't mean much. It's not that simple. When the papery wrapper is excessively loose, torn, or missing in patches, it exposes the cloves underneath directly to moisture and air, and that speeds up spoilage fast, sometimes within just a few days of bringing it home, even if the bulb looked perfectly fine sitting in the store bin. Garlic with its outer wrapper still intact and snug, wrapped tightly around every clove like a natural seal, is going to last significantly longer in your pantry. Next time you're checking a bulb, don't just look at the cloves themselves. Look at how well the skin is holding everything together, because that outer layer is doing more protective work than most people ever realize, acting almost like packaging nature built in on purpose. Trick number 5. Sprouting garlic. Sometimes you'll spot little green shoots pushing up through the top of a bulb, poking out from between the cloves, sometimes just barely visible and other times unmistakable. Here's what most people don't realize. Sprouted garlic isn't dangerous. It's still perfectly edible, and plenty of experienced cooks use it without a second thought, simply trimming the green shoot out of the center before cooking. But once a bulb starts sprouting, it's already spending its stored energy to grow that shoot, pulling resources away from the cloves themselves. And that changes the garlic in ways you can taste. The flavor often turns sharper and less mellow, and the shelf life drops considerably from that point forward. So it's not about safety. It's about knowing you're buying garlic that's already past its peak and won't last nearly as long in your kitchen as a bulb that hasn't started that process yet. If these tricks are changing the way you'll shop for garlic from now on, that's exactly why this channel exists. Traditional know-how, tested and passed down, without any of the hype. Subscribe now so you catch every tip like this one. Trick number 6. The root end tells the real story. This is the strongest test of all, and it's the perfect way to settle any doubt before a bulb goes in your cart. Flip the bulb over and take a close look at the base, right where the roots would have been attached. Fresh garlic has a root plate that's dry, tight, and clean, almost like it was just trimmed yesterday, with no discoloration and no give when you press it lightly with your thumb. Old garlic gives itself away here every single time. You'll see cracking across the surface, soft or moldy patches forming in the crevices, or a root plate that's starting to separate from the bulb entirely, pulling away at the edges like it's coming loose. That one look at the base can tell you more than everything else on this list combined, which is exactly why it's worth making a habit before every single bulb goes into your cart, even when everything else about it looks perfectly fine. So next time you're standing in that produce aisle, don't reach for the biggest bulb on the shelf. Check the base. Give it a squeeze. Feel the weight in your hand. Run through these 6 signs, and you'll walk out almost every time with garlic that's fresher, lasts longer in your kitchen, and actually tastes the way garlic is supposed to taste. And if you grow your own garlic, these same signs apply when you're choosing your best seed garlic to save back for planting. Even gardeners up in Zone 3 and Zone 4, where the planting window closes early, rely on these exact checks before the first hard frost. Before you go, tell me which of these 6 garlic tricks surprised you the most. And if you found a way to pick the freshest garlic that's worked well for you over the years, share it in the comments. Your experience might help another gardener or home cook choose better garlic the next time they're at the store. If this video helped you avoid bringing home a bad bulb of garlic, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our weekly gardening tips that help you grow smarter and shop smarter. Traditional techniques, real results, no hype. See you in the next one.